morning, good morning, good morning. Today we're talking about solar. I know it's a little off the grid. Get it? Like a little off topic. But that's what we're talking about this morning. Hello, Donna. Hello, Jim. Welcome to today's show on solar. Hello, Paul. Hello, Amy. Hello, Jennifer. Yeah, today we're talking about solar. Big hot topic. Hello, Noel. For those of you who live in downtown Chicago or New York City or LA, probably hard to relate. But hello, Toronto. Hello, Paul. Hello, Thomas and Sharon. Afternoon already, somewhere back east. Hello, Krista and Doug. Jennifer. All right. Hello, Susan. Susan can relate to all this. Yeah, so what I'm doing this morning is I'm giving you a tour of my solar operation. How about that for off the grid? Get it? Like an off the grid topic? Yeah. So, here's the context. Power from PG&E, the company that set California on fire, filed bankruptcy as a result. Power is $100,000 away down the road, about a half a mile, 3/4 of a mile. And then, of course, after you pay them $100,000 to bring power to your ranch, you got to pay them whatever, $100, $200, $300, $500 a month to use it. And that's if they keep it on. But here in California, nowadays, how PG&E is avoiding all the lawsuits is whenever it's fire season, they just shut all the power off. That way their transformers and poles can't set anything on fire. Right now, Oakhurst, Susan, I heard from Rob Meeks, he said PG&E shut all the power off on the mountain because of high winds. So you probably don't have any power. But hey, Susan, I have power. You know why I have power? Because I got my own power right here. Sun power. Solar is the future, folks. I haven't vetted this number, but I've read a couple places in the last 2 weeks that there are more people employed in the United States today in green technology, which includes solar and wind and whatever else is included in green technology. I don't know what. More people employed in green technology than there is in oil and gas and coal. So for those of you that are hanging on to the past, you might consider just letting go at some point, because this train has already left the station and the future is solar as of, 15, 20 years ago. I put this system in 16 years ago. And this is the source of it right here, these panels, which there are 18 panels. And these are 16-year-old panels, so they only produce about 200 watts an hour of power. And today's panels, like if I would replace these, the same panel, same size, instead of 200, they'd produce 350 watts of power. That's how technology has improved. So you notice the angle of the solar panels is facing south, the sun. And really efficient solar panels are actually mounted on a pole that has a tracker, and the entire panel moves throughout the day to follow the sun to maximize the sun. So anyway, this is the source of the system, these solar panels. Probably actually could use some more. And you notice I got a hose here. It's because if you notice how dirty they get out here on the ranch, I don't know if you can tell that, but pretty dirty. You got to wash them down about once a week. All right, so all of this power gets collected under these panels, and underground wire goes up here into what I call the power shed. By the way, this is one of my life hacks right here. If you ever need a 20 by, or a, let's see, what is it, 8 feet tall? Yeah, 8 feet tall, 8 feet wide, 20 foot long, or 40 foot long. You need an office, you need a shop, you need a storage container, you need a garage. You can buy these delivered in fantastic shape with new paint for under $5,000 a piece. And they'll last until your great-great-great-grandkids go away. Now, where can you get a fireproof, bulletproof, waterproof, mouse-proof, snake-proof storage container for $5,000 delivered on your property? You can't. All right, we're going into this power shed. First, I'm turning the generator off so you can hear me. Warning, security cameras in use. There's not actually a camera. I'm just faking people out. All right. Yeah, I'll turn this around. Luis says everybody's always got to see me. All right, so this is the heart of the system. If the panels are the source, this is the heart. And this is an SMA inverter made in Germany. And what it does, has 3 pieces to it. It has this bottom piece, the center piece, and the top piece. And what this piece right here does, and I'm going to turn this around so you can see it. This takes the solar power and does 2 things with it. First, it takes it and it charges the batteries. Oh, so I didn't show you the batteries. Here's the batteries. And there are 24 2-volt batteries here. And these are gel batteries, so it's a 12-volt system. No, 48-volt system. 24 2-volt batteries. And so what this thing does is it takes the solar power and it charges the batteries. And then, so right now the batteries are 91% charged. I don't know if you saw that there. And in a second I'll tell you what the house is drawing from the batteries. The battery voltage is 53.8. They'll top out at about 54. And the house is pulling 0.4 kilowatts an hour. So that's like 400 watts an hour is what the house is pulling. And that's like a refrigerator, a few computers, maybe a light or 2 is on, something like that. Not much happening. But if the well is on, that 0.4 would go up to 2.4. Now it's down to 0.3. So the solar panels charge the batteries. And then what the inverter does, it sends a 12-volt charge into the batteries to charge them. But then when it wants to pull power out of the batteries, it converts those 48 volts to 120 volts, which is sent to the house through that breaker box. The power line to the house is all underground, so you don't see any power poles around the house. In fact, there's no power poles at all on my property because everything's underground. This box up here takes the 120 volts and spools it in a big coil. So whenever I need 220 volts, which is for the well, doubles the voltage for the well. And this little box here monitors the system and sends reports up to the internet. so I can see what's going on. And that little white thing is the router. And this little box here is an electric time clock, battery backup, and it turns the well on at 10 a.m. every morning and turns it off at 4 p.m. so that the well and 240 volts is never hammering my system at night when there's no sun. And then if somebody puts a heavy load on the house, like at night, and the batteries get hit hard, then this automatically fires up. So, see, that's in auto, that little chrome switch. And what the inverter tells the generator if it needs supplemental power, like there's not enough sun to charge the batteries, it sends a signal here to this generator, and it does like this. And that's a Kohler 20 kW propane generator that I bought 16 years ago for $6,000, which was a steal. And here's the water system. So the well is about, about 200 yards away. And the pump pumps the water up from about 1,000 feet down. The well's 1,200 feet, all steel cased in granite. Totally pure water. Like there's nothing uphill from my well. It's the highest point on the ranch. It's the highest point on the hill. And there's no homes above the well. No manufacturing, no nothing. Well, maybe some cow poop. So the water is as pure as you can get. Like, you wouldn't find anything in it. No dioxin, no nothing in this water. It's been there for millions of years, and I'm drinking it. And so anyway, the well fills up this tank. And then like most homes, you got a pressure tank, which I don't really need because the house is way down this hill. And so the water line and the power line have that slope down to the house for pressure and volume. There's a view of the ranch. So I did a cool, fun thing last night. I'll show it to you when it's done. But I went on ranchmaps.com, which I found, and you can download Google Earth and then use like some tools on Google Earth, and you can draw the property lines on Google Earth for your property. So yesterday I drew the property lines for the ranch, and I drew all the riding trails, which might be horse riding or ATV riding or hiking trails. And then I drew the landmarks like the front gate and the back gate and the neighbors and the lake. And we have like probably 120-year-old, could even be 140-year-old olive and pecan orchard that's just naturally irrigated from springs. And I went down and toured it in depth yesterday with a guy that I'm going to have prune it all up. And I just like, it's really amazing how old these trees are and how huge they are. So I landmarked that and a few other things. So anyway, today's about cool ranch stuff. So here's my question for you. So you probably heard me before say that this is my Aina. And what does that mean? Well, Aina is Hawaiian for dirt. Not really dirt, but your land. So this we actually call it here locally DG for decomposed granite and hard pan. So it's not actually very friendly dirt. It's hard, it's dry. And if you're not digging in the springtime or the winter, it's like digging in rock. But I grew up here, folks. From the time I was like 8 years old, I walked all over this property, which right now is about 600 acres. And ever since I was 15 years old, I'd hike to the top of these big mountains, to these big rock outcroppings and cliffs, and I would visualize, someday I'm going to have a home here, and someday I'm going to build a lake here, and someday I'm going to build a zip line here. And I'm 65, and I got some of it done, but I don't have all of it done. So my question is, Ina, I love Lanai. Like, Lanai is such the paradise. It's unreal. Every morning, Kimmy and I get up. We think we're on vacation, and we've been there 6 years. It's like a perpetual vacation. It's surreal. It's so phenomenal. But Hawaii's not my Ina. This is my Ina. And it's kind of like your soul food, right? The seat of your soul, as Gary Zukav wrote. Where's the seat of your soul? That's my question for you to put in the comments. Where's your Ina? Where's your land? Where's your home? And maybe it's the people, but what Ina really refers to is your land. Like, where is your land? Do you have land? Something, right? You may not own it. It's just where you go to connect with the earth and all that good stuff. So, Lucy, where's your Ina? Andy, where is your Ina? And I would just suggest this. If you don't have Ina, find it. Like, go see the world. Go look around. Go travel. Go spend some time. There you go, Sonia. Oregon coast. Stunning. Stunning property there. Georgia. I get it. I spent a lot of time in Dothan and Athens and Augusta, and Georgia's a beautiful country. Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with where you grew up, but a lot of it has to do with just what kind of environment calls to you, speaks to you. I think it's an important part of living. And that's the daily dose of salt for today. Of course, Kailua, the beach at Kailua, right? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Keep putting your answers in because I'm going to read them.